What's up, everybody? It's the Warrior of Light, aka Alamir, and I wanted to go over the 8th volume of the dev letter with you guys in this video. So first off, Mr. Ichikawa-san is just kind of thanking everybody for participating in the tournament. He talked about how a lot of English audiences may or may not have actually watched the live stream. I didn't watch it. I don't know what I had going on at the time, but I wasn't able to watch it. It was all in Japanese and there was no translator, so it wasn't as exciting. And I'm more invested in the North American tournament anyways. There was some interesting data pulled from the tournament in Japan, though, as far as the most popular styles and even what guns were used. This dev letter might be kind of interesting for some of the people that want to participate in the tournament, because it shows at least what was popular in Japan when it came to what styles people picked, what guns people picked, and which materia they ran in some of the top teams. So it reflects back on how July 10th, the First Soldier Championship took place, and the top First Soldiers from Japan duked it out. And if you see the first chart there, it breaks down all the styles. Not surprised to see Ninja up at the top. As a Ninja main myself, people in Japan apparently know what's up. But Ninja's very powerful. The mobility, especially something like, what's interesting is you'll see later, it was a combination of both using the hide ability and blade shift. So it wasn't only hide or only blade shift, it was either or. So Ninja was just popular. It didn't say what traits they were using, but I'm assuming retreat was probably the main one that they were using. And Ninja's powerful because of the double jump is in terms of mobility, as in terms of how hard they are to shoot, but add that retreat ability on top of it. If a ninja swaps out its firearm for its melee, that increases its speed. But if it also has the retreat ability, if it gets hit one time, that also increases its speed. It's not like Punisher or Dragoon's Favor or Trance. It's not a thing that they have to activate. It just activates automatically from receiving any kind of damage from an opposing player. So it can make them really difficult to hit. Their mobility, being able to get high, being able to double jump over obstacles. You get in the right environment, and a ninja can be very difficult to take out. They can get over obstacles really easy, hit you from high ground, rotate around things a lot easier than some other classes can. I hate playing anything but ninja. Sorcerer being very popular makes a lot of sense. With limited resources, I'm not sure exactly how the tournament's going to be broken down when it finally comes to NA, how the qualifiers work. But especially at the final rounds, if this is something that was timed and they were all together, Sorcerer is huge. To have a limitless mana pool with that trance ability, because Ninja's great, but it runs out eventually. Ranger coming in third. Wow, we have talked crap about Ranger a lot this season, about it being the weakest class, and maybe on solos that's true. But Ranger gives a team one of the most important things in a team fight, and that's information. Its ability to assess the field, locate where enemy targets are, even through blind, because as you'll see later, blind was very popular in this tournament. It seemed like most teams had 2 people running blind on their team. So there was a lot of people running blind, and a Ranger Assess is able to quickly identify targets and still shoot people through the blind, making it null and void. And if there's ninjas using hide, Ranger also shows you where that ninja using hide was, making that ability completely null and void and pointless. So Dragoon up at the top. This is interesting because we see Warrior and Monk falling out of favor in this tournament, which they've been strong melee classes since the beginning of this game, especially Warrior. It's kind of interesting to see Warrior in the 5th place as far as the most popular style. But really, Warrior's not that great for team matches because you don't want to go in close. If you're going in close to melee somebody as a Warrior, that's not good on team. You're going to get lit up by the other teammates pretty quick, especially in the new gun meta with some of the changes they made to aim assist, the buffs to the combat mod as far as how many bullets it holds, the damage on the Shinra Type B, the silent buff to lethal gaze where it randomly does 20 damage. So Warrior and Monk aren't really great classes to have in something like this because you don't really want to go in close. Machinist not being really used a whole lot. Maybe that's because people aren't as familiar with it. Not sure why Machinist wasn't used as much. So when looking at the usage of the different styles, it's the first thing that stands out he mentions is the use of Ranger in team matches. Of course, getting that enemy location is a huge advantage. So a lot of different play styles. With the mid-range battle guns, it's really important to have a Ranger quickly identify where all the enemy teammates are, especially if you're using voice chat, and you can even focus fire on an enemy that Ranger is able to identify with that accessibility. So that's very powerful. Materia usage. Surprise, surprise. Fire is up at the top. It's a very powerful offensive spell for 1 MP. It takes a little practice to get good with aiming with it, but once you can aim pretty well with it, it's a very important spell. Blind, again, I stopped using blind, but you know, in a team matches, blind might be a very good thing to have. Maybe more so than Blizzard. I might end up swapping that out again, but Arrow in number 3 is interesting because I hate Arrow. I think it costs way too much MP to use, and for sorcerers it's okay because you have the trance ability, so you can cast it freely without having to waste that 3 MP. But for a ninja, and especially one who plays a lot on solos, that MP is very important to me and precious, and I don't want to waste it on an arrow. Raise being the 4th materia used isn't surprising when people are downed. Very important to get them back up as soon as possible, and Raise is able to do that in a split second. And then we see the second tier of spells, Thunder, Water, Cure, Blizzard. Not too surprised. I guess in team games, Blizzard's not as strong. In solos, Blizzard is very strong. In a one-on-one fight, Blizzard is very strong. In a team fight, not so much. It really depends on how you use it. Gravity, how far... Gravity has been an interesting story throughout our time in First Soldier. It used to be garbage, then it was good, now it's kind of garbage again. It's in that 3rd tier. Bio, not surprised to see that down there. Teleport, Morbid Fate seems to think Teleport is amazing, but here it is. 1% usage rate in the EA tournament. And then Comet, we've known since Season 1, Comet's just absolute trash. For the MP costs and just how, really easy to avoid. So, Ichikawa-san mentions blind held a really strong position. Obviously, with the Ranger, that combination of being able to drop a blind, assess, and even the sniper's eye to be able to locate enemies and deal damage in the cover of smoke is pretty powerful. If you're able to stop your enemy from seeing you, but you can still see them as an assess, and especially because it helps your teammates see. And one of the most important buffs that they made to the Ranger ability was it also shows you how much MP or HP they have left, and that's very powerful. It can help you figure out who to take out next. This part was also interesting because it showed the abilities, and it showed the guns and the materia of the winning team setup. So in the first match, we have Ninja Sorcerer Ranger, then we have Ninja Sorcerer Machinist, Ninja Dragoon Monk, Ninja Sorcerer Ranger, Ninja Sorcerer Ranger. So Ninja Sorcerer and Ranger seems to be a powerful combo. The Ninja Sorcerer Ranger combo wins the first, the 4th, and the 5th match. So 3 out of 5 matches, the winners were a Ninja Sorcerer Ranger combo, which makes a lot of sense. Ninja for mobility, Sorcerer for the MP pool, and Ranger for the information. That is a very powerful combo. Not seeing a whole lot of sniper rifles in these setups. I see 1, 2. This one's absent. A sniper rifle, that one's absent sniper rifle. So sniper rifle, the Mark V, which is, in my opinion and most people's opinion, the superior sniper rifle over the Executioner, it's only showing up in 2 out of the 5 winning team matches. A lot more of the fully automatic guns are being used here with Lethal Gaze Combat Mod. Interesting that somebody was carrying a shotgun. I feel like those have fallen out of favor. I don't think shotguns are good at all. Then the second match, we have Lethal Gaze Descent Bane, Inferno, Lethal Gaze Descent Bane, so mostly fully auto guns. Then Lethal Gain, Descent Bane, Shinra Type B, which is, 3-round burst. It's kind of in that between automatic and semi-automatic. Descent Bane, 87 type handgun, Executioner Gamma. Oh, never mind. Hey, there's a sniper rifle right here. I missed that one. So in the third match, there was another sniper rifle, but it was the Executioner. And then Lethal Gaze, so most of what, and this one is all fully auto guns. Lethal Gaze, Combat Mod, Descent Bane, Lethal Gaze. What's funny is I'm not seeing any MP60s in here at all. I think we all know that gun is absolute trash. It's why you get it for free on Blitz mode. And then only one 87 type handgun, another just absolutely awful gun. But Descent Bane, see a little bit in here. That's not a bad gun. I've been thinking that's a little bit more impressive a gun. But look at these materia builds. A lot of blind. Blind might be the most common materia you see here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So blind shows up 10 times. And then here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So fire and blind with these winning teams, those are kind of like the two most important materia. It seems like people were running was fire and blind, which makes sense. I might have to switch it up. I might actually pull blind back in over blizzard when we do these team matches. So looking at styles, the trend is reflective of the overall usage illustrated above. However, when we look closer at the ninja and sorcerer abilities equipped, we can see a difference between the teams. This is particularly pronounced with the ninja ability Hide. This ability is very effective for evading tight spots when your team is half defeated or you are left to fight solo. Unless there's a ranger on the other side and they cast Assess, then you're kind of, you're sitting duck at that point. Everybody can see where you are. Although the ability Blade Shift is useful during fights for rapid movement, opting for the alternative seems to have proved beneficial in many cases. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, looks like Hide was used way more over Blade Shift. That might be another thing I might consider switching over to Hide instead of Blade Shift for these team matches. And we can see most of the teams opted for, the rapid fire guns being the favorite choice, but some teams chose single fire guns like the sniper rifles, the Wrath revolver. We saw that pop up a couple times in there. Those are two guns that use less ammo because they're single fire shots. They do that heavy damage, slower fire rate, so you're not wasting as many bullets, but a little bit harder to get good with those guns. So some interesting strategies. If you haven't read the dev letter, hopefully this gave you a good analysis if you don't like reading. Instead, you'd rather have the information told to you that way. If you want to go check it out again. But the big highlights for me are Ninja, Sorcerer, Ranger are a powerful team. The Ranger's Assess is useful, Blind is useful, and the fully auto weapons were the favorite was the gun of choice for a lot of these fights. So later on in the dev letter, he continues to talk about this summer event, Surf of the Water God. He doesn't say anything new in here. Nothing special about the event that wasn't covered in the video I released yesterday. Along with the new balance adjustments. That's all in the video I released on my channel yesterday, so I don't need to cover that again. He closes off mentioning the weather in Japan, how it's getting a little hotter everywhere else in the world, and to come inside and find some AC and cool down with the Surf of the Water God event. So they're currently working on preparations for Season 4. They have a new mode lined up at the end of August, which I believe is going to be the variant mode, which I've given some speculation on that. I think it's going to be almost like the raid boss that we had in Season 2, except for it's going to be a completely different lobby that we can probably queue into and fight variants of these bosses, like Bahamut Sin, Bahamut Fury. But there was also a picture where it showed Bahamut and Ifrit, so we might be able to actually fight Ifrit this time. Just some kind of different variant mode where we can fight the Scorpion Sentinel, Ifrit, Bahamut. Maybe for some stars, maybe even for some titles. But it won't be so difficult to get a team together and take down these bosses. It can be a little bit more of a community event and a little bit less of the PvP kind of stuff, which would be a nice break from Blitz mode, honestly. It got kind of heated. People were trying really hard to hit that top title, even get into the top 10 and the top 100 for the banners. So it would be nice to have more of a collaborative event where we can come together and just take down a boss as teammates instead of fighting against each other all the time. So yeah, that was the 8th dev letter. Hopefully that gave you some good information for the tournament and what is coming up next for the First Soldier, and I'll see you on the battlefield.